on your timer, don't you? Yeah, there, I can see it now.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, good afternoon or good evening.
Evening.
I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. All I could hear at my end is I need my TV to turn down. So if you can hear the TV, everybody, I'm sorry about that. That will be turned down in 2 minutes. Also, I can just keep hearing fireworks all the time. So I'm thinking what they're doing. They're having their fireworks because after tomorrow they're not allowed out, are they? People are not allowed to leave their houses.
Yeah, have it in their own gardens.
Yeah. Anyway, Steve, thank you for coming back. I really want to talk about lockdown.
Okay.
And, we're all kind of like getting older. I'm past my 40s now and 50. And, I am 50 years old. I can't believe it. And, so how do we keep our mental health, kind of right while we're in the lockdown?
Well, do you know, everybody is obviously finding this as a challenge. No matter what kind of circumstances you're in, you're always going to have empathy for everybody else as well. And I think in the time that we've had, we're actually experienced now. We know what to expect, even though it's going to be very different to the first time we've had a lockdown, because the first time was all very new, very community. That was new to us. And in fact, it created quite positive vibes. But this time, the reason it's different and more challenging, in my personal view, is because we are now seeking a different path of where people are now fighting each other, really, about, the pros and cons. You even get people saying, wake up to this call, and people are waking up, but they are also following the actions. And to answer your question, Steve, is how do you deal with it? Well, how did you feel the last time when you did something that made you feel good? Because note those things down, because they're going to be important for you right now. Because what's important now is to develop really the things that set good moods, because it's important to develop good moods for yourself. And these could be through activities. Savoring is a very good one to do. Think about all the things that you're doing right now. I mean, like we are talking here. This is not going to happen again. This is, savor this moment as we speak. What's going on. We might make a mistake. You're getting fireworks. So kind of take it all in and actually appreciate those moments as well. I know it's very challenging, but that's important to do that rather than just let time go by. But we need to boost moods, and to boost your mood, you've got to literally look at activities that keep you moving. Now, if you did those before, then you know where you're going. Just got to start looking creative ideas. But definitely movement is very important. Movement is the one that helps you with your cognitive, it helps your mental health as well as your physical. And those movements are, I don't like to use the word exercise, because that's a word which is fine, but a lot of people, when you say the word exercise, it's a negative thing, they're thinking about jumping up and down or doing fitness or whatever. It's about activity that you find fun. I made a video which is on my YouTube channel. It's called Dance to Fitness, and it's a simple, just like reminding people that if you dance, remember when some song goes on, you just go out there and dance, don't you? Some of us,
of course, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, some of us have a real movement in our dance. We're quite vigorous. Others maybe in the chair, moving our arms. Whether even if you're disability or whatever, it has, you have some kind of movement. Move, and it makes you action, but it also makes you feel good. And the whole important thing about this is that you're enjoying it. And if you enjoy it, that means you're going to continue doing it, you know. But I would, that for me, we put sort of music on. We also have a 30-minute sort of like a disco, if you like. It's a very old-fashioned word, disco, but you'll have that your own little nightclub thing, and get that running, and really get your mood going, and really start moving about. And that's already, and that's not exercise to you. That's just fun dancing to songs that you like.
Yeah, but at the same time, really, even though that you're not doing it, it's still exercising it because you're moving around, and keeping yourself fit and everything. And
Absolutely.
it's like I just have started my own radio station about 10 days. I think it's about 10 days now doing it, setting it all up, and it comes along with this, and that's been going fine. And it's like, and when the music starts coming on, I'm well away. I'm dancing away, and my wife was telling me just now, you're well away there with the music, and it's like, you're right. It's about movement. It's about kind of like, even if you're indoors, if you're stuck indoors, if you're disabled, there's ways of movement, isn't it?
Yeah,
You can do it with
absolutely.
your arms and everything, or, so
Yeah.
yeah. So, get the radio on and kind of
Get
boogie away.
radio, yeah, get any music on, get a music list. Even if you want to be prepared, get yourself a music list that that gets you moving. Some people might do it when they're actually, I don't know, if they're in the kitchen, they're cooking, or doing something that the households, vacuuming or whatever, the mundane thing in my head, thinking of things like some people love doing that, by the way, but not for me. But they're one of the jobs that have to be done. But you stick the music on, and away you go, and then it makes it easier, stick the headphones on. And of course, for men, it's very important that they keep themselves occupied and keep themselves having things to do, because it's and this does go for everybody else, but men a lot more so. It's proven, shows in statistics scientifically that men seem to go into that kind of dark hole of and think in a negative way, and we are always thinking subconsciously. We're thinking, and those subconscious thoughts are around 70% are negativity thoughts. It's not something we can help. It's just because we just see it, because we get the news every day, and especially now, it's very much. But what I would say to your listeners is this: there's a lot of things here today that we are missing, that is called kindness. We're missing the kindness because there is a lot happening. We're seeing a lot of negative things on internet. We're seeing other people who are protesting against things that you are getting angry about, because they're wearing a mask, not wearing a mask. All these kind of things are making people angry, sad, and depressed, into that point. So kindness is important. And what can you do with kindness? Kindness, you can literally, even in lockdown, you can be kind to someone. You can make a little message on someone going, I just saw your post the other day. It was lovely, fantastic, whatever. You made that effort to be kind. And that person has reiterated that message, and that feels really good. You feel good because they feel good. And that has done something for you as well as them. So kindness is important.
Sorry, Steve. It's like the other day, I went out on my scooter down the old railway track. It used to be on like an old railway track, but they turned it into a pathway now. And I went down there, and my friend of mine, who will be going to church with very soon, she said, "Hey, Steve, I just made some biscuits, dog biscuits." So I said, "Well, I'll have a box of them. There's some money. It goes to Romania, see?" And I thought, "Oh, that's fine." So I bought some biscuits, went down the cycle track, and it's dogs. All the dogs are down there.
Okay.
So at the same time, I was giving biscuits to the dogs, and also talking to people, and also I got like a kind. I don't know if you've seen my kindness page on Facebook,
Yes.
and we're always doing things, all different, every member, we're always doing things like helping people or shopping, whatever. It's
Yeah.
a bit of kindness. You're right.
Yeah. Everybody, it doesn't need me to tell people that, but it's just reminding everybody. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that it's missing, you're not doing that. What I'm saying is that start to look at how you react to it, and then that makes you kind of want to do more. and it does that, and you've got that forever positive circle. You know, we've been on that circle of the vicious circle of negativity, and you know, you start to see negativity, then you feel negative, then you put anger in, especially on social media. But kindness is a great, you know, it could be your neighbor, especially if you've got a neighbor that's elderly, over the wall, or, you know, knock on the door, just through the window, how you doing? Which we all did this in the first one, but it's important to do this for yourself. We've all got those challenges about our businesses, our work, our children, all sorts of things, medical. Everybody's got their own personal challenges, but many are very much similar to others. But that we can't. That's not in our control. What's in your control is what you've got to focus on.
Yes, but Steve, you know, 5 minutes of kindness, it makes probably makes somebody's day, doesn't it?
Yeah,
You know,
for sure.
even a thought, or send them a message, text message, or whatever. You never know what that person's feeling. You know, they
Absolutely.
could be down. You know.
Absolutely.
You know.
You know, if someone texts me and has asked me how you doing, whatever, and it's just out of the blue, and I think, okay, my first thing will be going, yeah, I'm fine, and I've not heard from them. Oh, what's up? Is there something? There's a problem, or and I'm thinking that way. My mindset is in the wrong place, and then it's like, no, I'm just calling to see you okay, whatever. And you go, oh, and oh, that's lovely. You know, oh yeah, I'm doing well. How are you? You know, and a conversation. And that's, you know, very important as well. Even the connection, because people have, in the last lockdown, the biggest challenge that people have had is that missing the connections, you know, connecting with others. And we can still do that, but obviously physically, that's something we're getting used to. But we can still have our connections, and we can do this, you know, over the internet. And if they're not so can't do it over the internet, use the phone. And even on the phones now, you've got the video phones. Most calls now, it's all free, and those connections are there for you to feel human, you know,
Are
and
we doing?
have
Are
your
we doing?
whoever.
Sorry. Are we doing enough? Are we actually doing enough to be kind?
I don't. It's not that are we doing enough to be kind. It's only measurable by how you feel. You know, if you feel most of the day you just feel a bit down about whatever, it's because you're focusing on yourself. And focusing on yourself is important about self-care. That's important.
Yeah.
That's what we talk about, you know, looking after yourself. That's important. But that self-care means being focusing on others. That helps you. That's what self-care is. And that goes around. What goes around comes around. You know, and everyone does that. And it changes the way we are, because we have been, and I am very guilty of this. I don't know my neighbours, or I didn't know my neighbours really around, hello or whatever. And I'm a very open, talkative guy, but I'm very private guy in respect. I use the word private as in I don't kind of open myself up to anybody around me. But since the lockdown, I was forced to, because my neighbours will come around and knocking at the door or whatever and say, "Oh, do you want anything?" And it was like all very new to me, and I learned a lot from that. And I learned what my strengths were, but also I could work on my weaknesses. You know, and it was that community feeling, that community building, how important actually that was to me without realizing it. And now I enjoy it, and I love seeing the people, and I actually do make an effort. I consciously make an effort. Oh, hi, how you doing? I might actually pop into shops. You need anything? Never done that, as far as I know, in my life. You know, it's not something I know other people might do. That is the general thing, but now it's part of my life. So that's the kind of positive thing coming out of it.
Are we too quick to judge?
Are we quick to judge?
Yeah. Are we? Yeah.
I'm going to say that when we judge, we are also guilty of judging ourselves. We're very critical of ourselves. So yes, we're critical of ourselves very easily. But because we are now in the social media world, really heavily in the social media world, it's very misleading, confusing, and this is why you've got a lot of conflict. And this, if I use, for example, the mask wearing, where we're now in lockdown. Now those are angry with others who have not worn masks because they are defiant, and that mask is not going to take away their freedom and all this. So we are judging each other now because that person's not wearing a mask, or that person did wear a mask. And it's suddenly now we're fighting in between when we should be now doing the opposite to that. So yes, we judge, but we always have done. It's just being aware of it. Once you're aware of who you are, then you're able to focus on how to develop the strengths that you have and those weaknesses that may pull you back.
Right. Okay. So are we going to help ourselves then through this another lockdown? How are we going to do it mentally? Are we going to do it because we're going to miss our close ones? We're going to miss our family. Yes, we got the internet, we got the telephone, but it's nothing more than it's like my dad. He's about I don't know 80 miles away from me, and I'm used to seeing him like every weekend.
Yeah.
So for the next month or so, or whatever it is, I'm going to miss him big time.
Yeah.
So how do we keep our mental health intact?
Well, it's again, we all have a challenge in respects to when it comes to loved ones. Most people are missing a relative one way or another. Some are missing their partners because they may be in other houses or distant or away. But the only way that you can do this, but like I said, it's not what you can't control, it's only what you can control. You can't control the point of we're under this guide, well, not guide, we're under this rule that we need to stay at home and not to mix more than 2 or 3, whatever the rules are in household. But that focus, as I said, it has to be on yourself, and to do that, all of those things I've mentioned, to do that, write the things down as well. It's write things down how you feel during the day. Now people do journals already. Now I'm not saying start a journal, which is not a bad idea to do a journal. Journals are very good therapy. It's a good way of getting things down because it's not staying up there; it's going down on paper. And when you write something down, it's a creative feeling as well. And many of us, this includes me, I think it was only about 4 or 5 months ago, I started writing in a book because I was doing everything electronically. But as soon as there was something missing for me, and when I started writing the book, it felt really good. Felt really good. I can't put words to it, but you write it down, you can see it in front of you, and as you're writing as well, whether you've got good or bad handwriting, but most importantly, you're logging down how you feel, so you can keep an eye on yourself. You can know or notice if you start to go downhill a little bit. But to answer your question, with like all those are going to be negative emotions, you've got to control those negative emotions by focusing on positive emotions. So you've got to focus on those and think about all those people that you miss. You're doing it for yourself, but you're doing it for them as well, because they don't want to be worried about you, which is going to even compress even more on the problem everyone's having. No one wants to be worried about someone else. So keeping each other, communication, but looking after yourself is important, because if you're looking after yourself, then that other relative is not going to worry about your father's not going to worry about you, and vice versa. You start to start missing him and he misses you, which is going to obviously is natural. But if it starts to get you down, then you've got another thing to it's causing you an issue and a problem. And then the time we get out of this and see each other, it's very hard to actually develop back into that positive emotions. And if your mental health goes down and down and down, we've got a whole month of this, and it's important that you develop as now and learn about yourself. Make this a positive thing, as we did last time. Everyone made positive things by they started studying. Some people did, learn how to play music, computer program, whatever they did. People were doing things that were positive. So got to do it again this time. And and if you're an angry person, manage it, write it down. What makes you angry? If it's putting on the news, it's making you angry, don't put on the news. Don't stick on the news. I stuck the news on this morning. I saw Trump this morning, and I saw him this morning, and I wanted to see about the election. I was interested. I don't normally put the news on, but And I was laughing at one bit, and then I was laughing at Trump about all the things that he was saying. He's just, to me, is like laughing, but I knew inside there was a little bit in there that was making me feel a bit, angry. I hope he doesn't win. And I felt, I'm turning this off now, because I noticed there was something going on here. And
it's triggers. It's about triggers, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It is. It's a good word. If it's triggering something, turn off from it. But you have to be aware of it.
Yeah, I get like that when Trump's on. Yeah, especially when this morning when I was watching him dancing, I thought, Did you see that?
No, I didn't know.
All right.
I just saw him standing up about the election. Anyway, I won't go into it. But yeah, I just thought. But he's if it wasn't so surreal, if he wasn't president, it would be entertaining. But unfortunately, he's the president of the United States of America, and it affects everywhere else. So.
Yes, I don't want to go into that one. I don't want to get torn off. I got torn off last time about something on here.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, you got when I had an MP about something about obesity, because I go into I talk about obesity and campaign work and stuff like that. And I was having to go at this MP about something, and he took it the wrong way and all sorts. But there you go. It's not it's not one of those
Yeah.
Anyway, so what I'm trying to say now is this. So we're going to be the lock. We're definitely going to be having a lock in. They decided it today. Next thing is partners. Your wife, your girlfriend, or whatever. You have a partner. How are we gonna cope with our partners? Last lockdown I've had, we are all right. We were okay. We weren't kind of like fighting each other or nothing like that. So at certain points, we were writing texts to each other, even though that we were in the same room. But
we did the same.
Yeah. So how do we cope? How do we keep each other kind of, okay? You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's an interesting question, because in respects to, we're all different. Our relationships are all very different, and what we do. And some people have gone into a bit of a shock and realize how their relationship actually is when they were spending time together, and some of it positive, some negative, but hopefully working on those. What we have to remember is everybody needs some time on their own.
Yeah.
Everybody needs time on their own. Everybody needs to do things that they want to do. Even though you are partners, doesn't mean you're glued to each other. You don't need to be told that. Of course you don't. But what you do want to look at is things that, even though we're in lockdown, we're not trapped. We're not trapped in our homes. You can actually go out. You can go out for a walk. And if you're lucky enough to be near woods, a park or whatever, this is a very healthy thing. You should be doing that anyway. Getting yourself out at least, yeah, if you can, strain. If people who've got dogs got an excuse, we have a dog. We go out daily. We do about I don't know 7 to 10K walk, but that is helping us in different ways as well. But we do that together. But in respects to being as a partnership, yeah, you need time apart. And you talked about texting each other. I'd be up in now. I'm up in the studio up to the top, and is where my office is, and we were texting each other, and she's just down the room, and it's laughable. It's really laughable, and all sorts of things would be saying or whatever, and I'm like, I might as well just go downstairs,
Yeah.
But I could be in the middle of work, so there was a fly. But in respects to the partners, yeah, you keep yourself occupied, do things together, make you laugh, but at the same time, communication about be honest with each other. And this is probably something that I've learned myself, be very honest and open, that what you want, what you like, what's making you feel sad or getting on your nerves, but make sure you explain to each other, look, we're doing this so we can help each other, so we can develop and grow in our relationship. This is an opportunity to do that.
What I've learned is since all this has been going on, is that I've got a lovely television, Steve. Got a lovely TV, but unfortunately, it's taken over by my wife. Okay, but I'm glad because my carers come around about they come every day, but they take me out like on a Tuesday and a Thursday. So today I'm looking forward to about going out tomorrow. I hope it doesn't rain. So I've got on my scooter, I go out, and I come back and I'm thinking 2 hours. And I said to my wife, "Do you miss me?" And you know what she says? No, I'm glad you got out. I'm glad you got. We need space, right? And I'm thinking, hang on for a second. So you didn't miss me? I missed you, but you didn't miss me. She says no. She says, and I think you're right because we do need space from each other.
Yeah.
In a relationship, you need space.
Sure.
But I'm not used to that. See, I'm not used to that because we are always, like together. We are like talking cheese. We're just together. But when she goes out, I miss her loads.
Oh.
No, honestly, I do. I miss her. I miss her loads. But it's like, but sometimes if we fall out, then she's like, where I'm sitting now, she's just across there. She's like a second away from me.
Yeah.
But if we fall out, we're sending text messages together, like, make me a cup of coffee, love, darling. And she'll say, well, go away, bugger off, things like that. But it's a bit of banter. It's a bit of thing. And it's tough, isn't it? And relationships are tough, and we've got to be so kind of, we've got our communications, it's got to be right through these sometimes.
And you have to remember also, it's really sweet. And a lot of people, especially if it's men, we're talking 40 plus, will be families and children. So they'll have a lot there going on as well. So husband and wife will have little time for each other in some ways, depending on the age of the children. So it's not like they're going to be on top of each other all the time. Although they're there, they're not going to have their own time. So actually the focus would be having their own valuable time together there, making that, whether it's getting the kids to bed on time, keeping a routine. So all of these things are something to be aware of and focus, but definitely, communication.
Definitely, Just the last question before we go.
Okay.
It's gone so quickly. Do you think we should have men's groups? That men should meet and have groups and come together and speak to other men about our feelings or how we
Yeah, of course. I mean, why not? Men are now encouraged more to speak because that's what the problem was. We're not speaking up. We're not talking out about our issues and our problems or what we're thinking. and this is a good thing to do now. So maybe it could be they want. It might be men, it might be some women in that men group, to keep that testosterone down a little bit, because sometimes there can be a little bit of that going off. It depends on your moderator. But yeah, if it's managed well, then yeah, because then people feel they want to feel they can communicate in there without any sort of prejudice or is the word you use, judgment, and that's once they feel that, they can then say what they're feeling and how they feel. And it's not, because we use the word mental health, and people think, oh, there's a problem, we all have mental health to look after. And it only becomes a serious mental health issue when we're talking medical, because we're not looking after our medical health. We're not saying our problem, I feel bad about this or whatever, and I'm now going to just keep that inside me. But if you don't let it out, then you feel better,
Because men think they're the macho men, we can handle everything, but inside deeply, really we can't, can we?
No, it's just. I mean, it's getting better, but it is the way men have in decades back. We're talking a long time back. It's probably from my era, your era, where we were brought up. We were brought up with your Clint Eastwood, Rambo stage. The macho image is. And that was always there. That was only our role models that we had at the time. Or that was featured in front of us. But we've got different role models now, and people do speak up and they talk openly. And the same with women. It's amazing. Women have such good role models, and the empowerment from that is helping women and develop. They've just, really gone up in respects to equality and the way they are being more assertive. And men will get there as well, but they've got to allow, to other people to let them speak, and you speak as well, and it will come eventually.
Thanks, Steve. As always, thank you so much. Gone
You're
so
welcome.
quick. I love it when I talk to you because it's you just say it as it is, and it's really good.
Yeah.
Anyway, keep in touch, and we'll probably get another one going again.
Okay.
You know what I'm like. Thanks,
No
Steve, for your time, and God bless you. You take care of yourself.
Yeah, you too, and take care of everybody else, and look after yourselves.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you.
Welcome.
Well, there you go. I think what we need to do at the end of the day, we need to look after our own mental health, don't we? We need to kind of like look after ourselves more, and also our partners too, and treat our partners with respect, love, and because at the moment we're going through really bad times. So until later on, until tomorrow, I'm going to say good night. God bless. And by the way, don't forget tonight on my radio station, we've got Gospel Hour, Christian music at 10 o'clock. Until then, see you later. Bye bye.